This video is going to talk about mistake number 3 parents tend to make when they're toilet training their child with autism or other special needs. Hi, I'm Michelle Brown and I'm the founder of SpecialKidsHero.com. Mistake number 3 is assuming your child understands. What I mean by that is we are assuming that our child understands that we no longer want them to use the diaper and pull-up, and instead we want them to use the toilet. Now let's just back up a step and just talk a little bit more about urination and bowel control. So urination is all about fluid intake. The more I drink, the more I pee. And bowel management is all about diet. If I have enough roughage and fibrous foods, I will have nice soft poops to poop out. And if I'm not eating those types of food and I have constipation issues or any kind of pain with going to the bathroom, I am going to resist going to the bathroom for sure. So what we need to think about is how can we make sure our children have lots of pees so that we can make sure they have lots of practice going on the toilet, and how can we change their diet to make sure that they're having nice soft poops so it's manageable for them to go. The other thing you need to remember is when we're urinating, we actually have to sit in a comfortable position so we can relax 2 tiny muscles to actually urinate. And if we're feeling stressed or uncomfortable or anything else, we're not going to be able to relax on the toilet. So now that you know those things, we need to have that stuff sort of worked out before we can even get started. The next thing is we have to try to communicate to our child that we're no longer going in the diaper and the pull-up, and instead we're going on the toilet. And one way we can do that successfully with children with language delays is to use visuals. You can use anything as a visual. You can use a photo, like just a picture of your toilet. You can use a PEC symbol of a picture of a toilet. You can draw something out. You can use anything. The point of the visual is to show your child that we're not going in the diaper and pull-up anymore, but we're going in this new place, the toilet. The next thing you can do is you can give them a schedule of what's happening to help them understand what you're asking. We can never assume that children with language delays understand what we're saying. So if we can support what we're saying with a visual, that will make them more successful. A really simple visual can be something like a first-then board, where we're showing them a picture of first we're going to go to the toilet, and then we're going to read our bedtime story. So now the child has a picture in time. This is what we're going to do, and then we're going to do that. So they don't get nervous or upset or have any kind of behavior around the transition because you've clearly showed them what exactly you want them to know. For some kids, they even need things broken down even more. And this is where a visual schedule can come in place, where this breaks down all the steps of the task. So it takes them through exactly each step that's going to have to happen while they use the toilet. And what this does is this gives children that part to whole picture. Some children with autism only see the parts or get fixated on the parts, and this gives them the whole picture so they know exactly what to expect from beginning to end. Making your visuals does not have to be complicated. You can simply draw something out on a sheet of paper. You can take photos, upload them onto a social stories app, and create a social story from your camera roll that shows them all the steps. You just want to do what's easiest for you. If you want to use the PEC symbols and that's what your child is more familiar with, then get your therapist to print out special ones for toileting so that you have your own set at home that you can be using. Boardmaker is the program that they are using to make those. You can also purchase that online, but usually your therapist or schools will have access to that program, so I'd ask them to help you out first before you go spending any more money on buying your own programs. Remember, when using visuals, it's just like anything else. You need to teach them how to use the visual supports, and that can take time and practice. But as long as you are consistent and you use them each time, your child will learn to use them and understand them. The other thing is, what we're doing is we're teaching them the language about what we want them to do in the future. So when we start toilet training, we are going to actually be taking our child to the bathroom, and we might tell them we're going to the bathroom and show them the picture, and then we take them. But eventually we want our child taking themselves. And what we want them to do is we want them to bring us the picture and say, I have to go to the bathroom. And maybe they just show you the picture and that's the way they say it. And then they take themselves and you can help them out in whatever way that they need at that point. An additional tip I have for you about visuals is that children who are anxious tend to need more prep time to prepare for a change. And by giving them visuals, that gives them that visual picture and that extra prep time for them to make that shift to the new thing. We also know children with autism tend to have some rigidity in their behaviors. They like things the same way and they do not like change. And when we can give a visual to show them what's going to happen, this helps them again break away from some of that rigidity because they don't have to be anxious about it and help them make that shift to what we want them to do next. I hope you found that helpful, and remember, be the hero you're meant to be.